let's do my school photo makeup. So basically my goal for this look is like full glam but matte and like everything super defined. Okay, so I'm just gonna start off with a regular primer, the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, just to give us a decent base to put all the makeup on top of. So basically in my school, like we use our ID cards for almost everything, and this photo is gonna be on those cards. So I'm gonna have to stare at this photo literally every single day for the next year. So my makeup has to look amazing and this picture has to be amazing. For brows, I'm gonna go in with a brow pencil just to make everything like darker and more defined. Because I find a few things that get like kind of lost in flash photography are eyebrows, eyelashes, and lips. So those are going to be like the most things I'm trying to like define today. And then I'm going to go in with a clear brow gel just to lock everything in. And now since I haven't gotten my eyebrows done in a few weeks and they're looking a little crazy, I'm just going to clean them up a little bit with some concealer just to kind of make it look like I got them done recently when in reality it's been a long time. Okay, now for my base, I'm going to do something a little weird. I'm going to first go in with my e.l.f. Halo Glow just because this is like makes me look a little more tan. It's darker than my other shades of skin tint. And then I'm going to mix it with my Hourglass skin tint because this has more coverage, but it's just a lighter color. So the darker e.l.f. will kind of like balance it out. And then I'm going to blend this in with my Refi like stipply brush. Okay, now for concealer under my eyes, I'm going to use my Kosas concealer. But then I'm going to put like a little dot of this Rare Beauty under eye brightener because it's a little bit of a lighter shade to kind of give me a little bit of a brighter under eye, but not too bright. And then I'm going to use this Kosas concealer again just to cover up any spots. And then I'm going to blend this in with the other side of my Refi brush. So I'm kind of having like a slight dilemma right now because I don't really know if I should smile with teeth or without teeth, because last year I did without teeth and my picture was like awful. So I'm like, do I switch it up and do teeth? Because recently I've been smiling with teeth for pictures. So I don't really know. It's like, or I don't know. I'll let you guys know what I figure out, decide, whatever. Now for contour slash bronzer, I'm going to use this very dirty Charlotte Tilbury wand. But I'm using this because I feel like it's a perfect like mix between contour and bronzer, and I want like chiseled cheeks, but I also want to look tan and bronzed, so this is like the perfect medium. And then I'm just blending this in with my Saie like big fat brush. And on my nose, I'm using a smaller brush. This is like 10 years old. I have no idea where it's from. But I'm just gonna do like the normal like button nose thing I do, and then blend like 2 lines to kind of like snatch my nose. And then when I'm blending these 2 lines, I'm just sort of like blending it into the eyebrow. Also, I just last minute decided that I want to put some here just to kind of like lift this part of my face. And now I'm just taking like the leftover concealer on my brush just to clean up my nose contour a bit. Okay, now for blush, I kind of want like a very specific color, so I'm gonna mix like 2 blushes. First, I'm gonna go in with this Rare Beauty blush in the shade Happy. And then when I'm blending this blush out, I'm gonna put this Makeup by Mario blush on my brush while I'm blending, just to kind of get a perfect mix of the 2 colors. And I'm using my Saie brush again. Okay, now with powder, it can be kind of complicated because my best setting powder is my translucent setting powder, but I don't want like flashback under eyes. So last year what I did is I mixed together these 2 powders. This is the Laura Mercier and then the Huda Beauty, and it like worked perfectly, no flashback. So I'm gonna do that again. Okay, this is my little mixture, so it's not too white but also not too like dark. And I'm going to be setting my under eyes and the areas that I get oily, so like my chin and my forehead. Now I'm going to use a pressed powder just to set the rest of my face because I tend to look really oily in like yearbook pictures. I don't know why, so I set my entire face. Now for powder bronzer, I'm just going to use my Charlotte Tilbury one because it's kind of like my darkest one, and again, I want really snatched cheekbones. And for powder blush, I'm using my most pigmented one, so my Patrick Ta one, and just the shade is really pretty. Okay, now I know I said I wanted like a matte look, but I feel like my face looks weird if I don't have some form of highlighter on. So I'm going to use my Fenty one just because it looks like less like grease, but more like an actual like highlighter, if that makes sense. And this is going on the cheekbones and the tip of the nose. Now for mascara, I'm gonna go with my most like dramatic one because like I said before, things that tend to get lost in pictures are lashes. That's one of them. So I just go in with my IT Cosmetics Superhero one. Okay, now that I did like volumizing mascara, I'm gonna go in with a lengthening one, my Tarte tubing mascara. But I'm just gonna put this on the tips because this tends to not really mix well with other mascaras when I do like full on layers. So just the ends. Okay, now for lips, I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in the shade Pillow Talk Fair because I feel like this gives my lips the like most natural like plump look, I guess. I'm also gonna mix it with this Too Faced lip liner in the shade Puffy Nude just to give my lips some more dimension so they're more visible in the photo. And I'm going with my L'Oreal lipstick in the shade Ballerina Shoes just to like put it in the center of my lip to lighten it up. And then I'm gonna use my Say Gloss because it's like a very glossy gloss, if that makes sense. And I just love like seeing the gloss in the picture, if that makes sense. And to finish everything off, I'm gonna use my One Size setting spray. Alright, and this is the finished yearbook photo makeup. I think it turned out pretty decent. I'm hoping that it photographs well, but I'll show you guys the picture once I get it back. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.